Elite WNBA defenders don't just stop scorers. They completely reshape how teams attack, force different play calls, make coaches rethink entire game plans. The gap between good defenders and truly elite ones isn't visible on stat sheets. It's in the possessions that never happen, the shots that never get taken, the plays that die before they start. So what actually separates the best from everyone else? Napheesa Collier won the 2024 Defensive Player of the Year award, and the numbers tell you part of the story. Held opponents to 36.2% shooting, best in the entire league. Led Minnesota's defense that posted a minus 10.0 relative defensive rating. That's the best mark in WNBA history, better than any team that's ever played. But those numbers don't explain how she does it. Watch Collier for 5 possessions and you'll see her guard 5 different players. Point guard bringing the ball up, she's on them. Power forward posting up, she's bodying them. Shooter coming off a screen, she's fighting through contact to contest. She covers more ground than anyone on the floor. Switches everything without creating mismatches. Blows up dribble handoffs before they develop. Provides help defense without leaving her assignment vulnerable. The versatility is what makes her impossible to plan against. Teams can't exploit her the way they can most defenders. Can't hunt for favorable matchups. Can't scheme her into positions where she's uncomfortable. She's equally effective on the perimeter and in the paint, guarding quick guards and strong forwards, one-on-one defense and team rotations, career highs in steals at 1.9 per game, 7.5 defensive rebounds, 1.4 blocks, all while anchoring a historically great defense. But Collier winning Defensive Player of the Year created controversy that revealed how complicated evaluating defense really is. A'ja Wilson had won back-to-back DPOY awards in 2022 and 2023, was going for a historic three-peat. Nobody had ever won it 3 years straight. Wilson led the league in blocks at 2.7 per game, set the single-season rebounding record with 451 boards, career highs in steals, individual defensive dominance across every category. Yet she finished second, and Las Vegas coach Becky Hammon was furious, called out voters publicly, said if you have to go down a statistical rabbit hole to find someone else for the conversation, you already have the answer. The implication was clear. Wilson's individual numbers were so dominant that voting for anyone else required mental gymnastics to justify. Minnesota coach Cheryl Reeve fired back. Asked how you can be Defensive Player of the Year when your team's defense isn't even top 4. Las Vegas finished 5th in defensive rating. Minnesota was 2nd. The debate exposed a fundamental question. Is DPOY about individual brilliance or team impact? Can one player be the best defender in the league if their team's defense isn't elite? Wilson's case was undeniable on paper. Protects the rim better than anyone. Steps out to defend the perimeter when needed. Elite help defender who makes rotations look easy. The two-way dominance is absurd, leading the league in scoring while also leading in blocks. But the Aces' overall defensive rating hurt her case. Fair or not, voters decided team success mattered. Then there's Alyssa Thomas, who finished 3rd in 2024 voting. For the 2nd year in a row, Connecticut had the best defensive rating in the league at 94.2. Better than Minnesota, better than everyone. Thomas is the engine that makes it work, gives the Sun their snarling, irritating identity. They're physical, relentless, and mentally exhausting to play against because that's exactly who Thomas is. The versatility Thomas brings is unprecedented. Guards multiple positions without blinking. 6.3 defensive rebounds, 1.6 steals. Not the flashiest numbers, but her role as Connecticut's defensive quarterback goes beyond stats. She communicates rotations, directs traffic, makes sure everyone's in the right spot. The Suns' defense has the sneering intensity that makes opponents uncomfortable because Thomas sets that tone every single possession. Yet she's never won Defensive Player of the Year. Finished runner-up twice, 3rd another year. At some point, you wonder what more she needs to do. Lead the league's best defense? She did that. Provide unprecedented versatility? She does that nightly. Be the emotional and tactical leader? That's been her role for years. Maybe the award just isn't meant for her. Or maybe voters value individual stats over team impact more than they admit. Breanna Stewart offers another case study in elite defense that doesn't always get proper credit. 3 consecutive all-defense first-team selections. 4th might be coming. Stewart is New York's defensive anchor despite playing with guards who struggle defensively. Sabrina Ionescu and Courtney Vandersloot are offensive stars who need protection on the other end. Stewart provides it. The switchability is what makes Stewart special. Guards 1 through 5 without hesitation. Coach Sandy Brondello uses scramble switches and rotation switches constantly. Requires Stewart to be ready for any defensive matchup at any moment. Watch her recognize Vandersloot got caught on a big in transition. She switches before the offense can exploit it. Defends the post up. Makes the play. Sprints back to her assignment like it's nothing. Away from the ball, Stewart makes lightning quick rotations to cover for teammates, doubles the post, recovers to contest threes, provides help without giving up easy baskets. New York finished with a top 4 defense despite the holes. Stewart is the reason why. Individual brilliance compensating for team limitations. Minnesota's defensive transformation in 2024 reveals how much one addition can change everything. The Lynx had a bottom 3 defense in 2023. Similar core, similar system. Then, Alana Smith arrived from Chicago. Suddenly, Minnesota had the best defense in basketball. Smith's impact was immediate and obvious. The post defense is what stands out. She's relatively undersized but incredibly effective. Elite rim protection, smart positioning, perfect timing. In 2025, Smith won Co-Defensive Player of the Year with Aja Wilson. The recognition was overdue. She's the perfect complement to Collier. Protects the rim while Collier switches on the perimeter. Together, they form the foundation of something historically great. Smith and Collier combined for 2.9 steals and 3.4 blocks per game in 2025. Minnesota ranked first in defensive rating at 97.5, second in opponent field goal percentage at 42.3. The numbers tell the story of a defense that simply doesn't allow easy baskets, ever. But defense isn't just about big names and DPOY candidates. Some of the league's most effective defenders fly under the radar. Dijanai Carrington received a Defensive Player of the Year vote in 2024. Not many, just one. But getting any recognition in a race dominated by Wilson and Collier says something about her impact. Connecticut's perimeter defense is suffocating partly because of Carrington's work. Courtney Williams put up 99 steals in 2025, tied for second most in a single season, 1 steal away from matching Teresa Weatherspoon's record set in 1998. Williams turns defense into offense, 7.2 defensive rebounds per game. Phoenix's fast break points jumped from 7.3 in 2024 to 11.8 in 2025. Williams is the reason, strips the ball, grabs the board, pushes the break. Jewel Lloyd became a genuine two-way guard in recent years. Many high-scoring guards get hidden defensively. Coaches save their energy for offense or accept that defense isn't their strength. Lloyd doesn't hide, takes on major defensive assignments while carrying heavy offensive loads for Seattle. That's the mark of elite, contributing on both ends without compromise. What actually makes these defenders elite, though? It's not just physical tools. Everyone in the WNBA is athletic. Everyone is skilled. The separation comes from IQ and positioning, reading plays before they develop, knowing when to help and when to stay home, making rotations that look easy but require split-second decision-making and perfect footwork. The timely rotations separate good from great. Collier blowing up a post-entry pass because she read the passer's eyes and rotated half a second early. Wilson erasing a layup because she recognized the drive was coming and positioned herself perfectly for the block. Thomas directing a teammate to switch because she sees the mismatch developing. These plays don't show up in highlights. They prevent highlights from happening. Switching without creating mismatches requires elite understanding of team defense. Most players can switch. Elite defenders switch and immediately adjust their positioning so the offense gains no advantage. Stewart guarding a point guard after a switch and staying in front. Smith switching onto a wing and contesting the three. Collier switching onto a center and holding her ground in the post. The versatility is remarkable. Turning defense into offense is the final piece. Elite defenders don't just stop plays. They create transition opportunities. Williams stripping the ball and pushing the break. Wilson blocking a shot and securing the rebound in one motion. Thomas grabbing a defensive board and immediately hitting a cutter. Defense becomes offense, becomes points in seconds. Mental toughness matters as much as anything. Elite defenders take pride in shutting down the opponent's best player. They want the toughest assignment, beg for it, then execute for 40 minutes without a single possession off. The relentless effort is what wears opponents down. No easy baskets, no open looks, no rhythm, just constant pressure that breaks teams mentally by the fourth quarter. The 2025 Defensive Player of the Year race is wide open. Collier defending her title, Wilson hunting a third, Smith emerging as a legitimate candidate, Stewart building her case. New names like Kiki Iriafen and Aliyah Boston making early season noise. The competition pushes everyone to get better. The elite level keeps rising. Elite WNBA defenders change games in ways traditional stats can't measure. It's the combination of physical tools, mental processing speed, positional awareness, and sheer will to deny every single basket. The best defenders make offense look impossible, make stars look ordinary, make coaches abandon their game plans. That's what separates elite from everyone else, and that's why defense wins championships.